everyone, it's Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Wasteland Watchlist here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. And this is my weekly show where we play a little bit of movie roulette, randomly pick a film from my enormous, unnecessarily large watch list, which has basically anything that you can think of, any kind of film, and we talk about it. And joining me is our fearless leader of the SPDM Crew. It is Mike Hilty.
I'm a little shocked that this ended up on your watch list. I would have assumed that this would have been something in the Charlie Chaplin verse that you would have seen by now, but I'm glad
I've
that
watched so many of his early films. It was something like it was surprising to see this film, which, yes, this is a Chaplin film, and let's segue right into our background because this was a film that was released October 23rd, 1952. So, like, this is into Chaplin's career. This hour and 37-minute film, which is also wild because it's by far the longest movie. Directed, written, composed, and starring Charlie Chaplin. Budget of $900,000, made a box office return of $8 million, based on the novella Footlights by Chaplin himself, released 2 decades later, where it made its profit, because this was not very popular upon initial release because of Chaplin's Chaplin being accused of being a communist. And at the height of the Red Scare in America, they weren't about them communists.
ugh,
This was filmed mostly in Chaplin's studios and featured the only on-screen collaboration between Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton. And little synopsis here: a fading comedian and suicidally despondent ballet dancer must look to each other to find purpose and hope in their lives. And you can stream this on Max. But yes, starring Chaplin, Claire Bloom, and Buster Keaton as well. But Mike, what were your general thoughts on Limelight?
well, this is one of those movies that just feels, I don't know, it just feels very personal to Chaplin in a lot of ways. And
Mhm.
given that he wrote, directed, this is based on a story that he wrote, he started it, and this feels, it's like two sides of a coin in a way,
Mhm.
because this has a lot of the things that you typically remember from Charlie Chaplin. A little bit of the slapstick, a little bit of the tramp, uh, peppered in there, but
Mhm.
you also get a very raw version of what it's like to see individuals when they've hit rock bottom. And you know, because you see these two individuals, because it's a beautiful story of just the toll that
Mhm.
being being someone in the quote unquote limelight, yeah, that's the name of the movie, um,
Mhm.
the toll that it takes on individuals, because you've got Chaplin's character, Colvero, what's it? Col-
Calvero, yep.
Colvero, um, famous, he's famous at one point, and now he's a bit of a drunk. He's
Mhm.
not that popular, not that well known. Kind of reminds me a little bit of what Hacks was trying to do in a lot of ways,
Interesting.
where um, Deborah Vance is somebody who she's playing shows. She's not that well known, but she kind of feels like she's at the end of her ropes career wise.
And also
And
has a young lover trying to get things up off the ground. Oh, I'm sorry.
oh yeah,
Is that explicit
yeah,
in the show?
can't forget about that. But then you meet this dancer who everybody pegs is like, oh, you're a woman of the night. It's like, no, no, she's just a dancer, um, who attempts to end her life. And boy, the conversations that they have about
Mhm.
why why did you let me why did you come get me? Why didn't you just let me do it? And everything that he does in order to try to get her to just get back on her feet and get back into dancing. Um, it's a beautiful message about not giving up, showing resilience, and what somebody can accomplish if somebody believes in them. And um, yeah, this was a good one. This was a good one to watch. I'm really happy that I got a chance to watch it because I was not expecting the kind of just a lot of the beauty that's made in this. Just from a cinematic standpoint with the lighting and how, the use of shadows because it's in black and white.
Yeah.
It was a good one. I really enjoyed this.
It's an interesting film in a meta contextual thing too, because if you think about, like, obviously this is really about Chaplin.
Hmm.
Because at this point in his career, he doesn't really have much of a career
Yep.
because him being ostracized from America because of his communist beliefs and stuff like that just really pushed him out of the quote unquote limelight. And it had
Yeah.
been almost he had one film release in the past 10 years before this.
Yeah.
And most of his films had come out well before this. He only had one, two, three, four films released between this and 1938.
Mm.
So, like, this has been a big gap for him. And there's something interesting to bring up here too, is because Chaplin was like notorious accused of being a groomer.
Yeah.
And the fact
Yeah.
that like he's an older gentleman falling in love with this young dancer is like not
Well,
lost upon.
but not only that, she's the one that, you know, like it was not lost on me that that she's the one that's like, I love you, we should get married. And he's like, I'm like so much older than you. And she's like, I don't care, we should be together. It's like, okay,
Interesting message that
it's
Chaplin's
fine.
trying to push across there.
A little bit.
But it is like we've seen relationships like this. A Star is Born.
Yep.
This young woman with a lot of potential, older man over the hill, and their dynamic with that. And like seeing an age inappropriate relationship between an older man and a younger woman in the entertainment industry, not lost. Like, it's a pretty common kind of story you see, but it's an interesting dynamic because she has this connection with him because he saved her.
Yeah.
And is like, is she really in love with Calvero, or just feels this connection because what he did? And
Well, in her, in like 5% her defense, what he did for her was pretty remarkable, though. Save
like, she
her.
wouldn't be alive.
She would not be here. But not only that, to open his home up to her as well, because the landlord was like, I'm renting out her place
Get
now.
out of
Get
here.
out, get out. Um, Pretty much nurses her back to health, but also gets her to get back on her feet and get back out there. With a slight caveat, I did not appreciate the slap that he gives her in order to get her on stage when she gets a little bit of stage fright. That was not great, but
That was a little Sean Connery
a little bit,
ish.
a little bit. But I get it. He was trying to. Well, no, I don't get it that you don't hit women. I know, but um,
He was
it's
trying to like snap her back into reality. Oops, there goes
this is your
gravity.
chance. This is your
Um,
chance. Yeah,
and it's it's one of those kinds of things where it's like it's shocking and it's moved on upon real quick.
a little
This
bit.
is a film
Yep.
that came out in 1950s. Like seeing men slapping women, like snap out of it.
Yeah.
Which obviously that was Cher slapping Nicolas Cage from Moonstruck, but like it's the
Yeah.
same. It's dealing the same kind of
Impact.
result and
Yeah.
what they're trying to go with.
Yeah.
Um, it was not as shocking in 1952, I am sure.
I'm sure it
And
was not, but Yeah.
It's interesting to look at now. But it's an interesting dynamic that they have. And then you see Calvero, who takes on a new identity and joins her performance and building up to when he can have his own final show. Because he is somebody who nobody likes in this industry, nobody thinks he's bankable in this industry, and he has to keep fighting and clawing. And why is this movie an hour and 37 minutes? It seems like makes no sense. It's the performances.
Yeah.
Because this is similar to a musical where they go full-blown performance numbers that are going to just, increase the runtime.
Her audition takes forever, but given the context of everything that they were trying to do with it, it was like, okay, that makes sense to showcase that she can actually do this. Um, yeah, it
I do love his tramp.
this does drag on a little bit, but yeah,
Because we get the tramp, we get all of the Charlie Chaplin elements
like the greatest
through
hits.
Calvera.
Yeah,
And it's fun, it's engaging. The novelty of seeing Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton on the same stage is incredible, not
yeah,
lost upon me, and was so awesome to watch.
yeah. That ending also. I don't. You mentioned A Star Is Born. This feels a little on the nose to that because this does feel a lot like the ending of of that. So the end of this is that she is she's in the successful or she's made it. She is back to dancing, doing what she loves. Um, and he's just done a successful like benefit or successful show, and he's kind of back on the map. Uh, he's at her show, and he has a heart attack. And the last thing that he wants to see, because he senses that this is it. He he wants to see her dance. I was like,
Yep.
that's beautiful. Uh it is gut wrenching because it also felt like there's nowhere else for this individual to go. So just kind of accepts his fate and just moves to the end. And that's hard to watch.
It's a tragedy. And it's in that classic sense. And you really wouldn't have it any other way. It's quite predictable in
Yeah,
context, and it's it has that feel of a little bit of melodramatic,
a little
but
bit.
it
Yeah,
fits the grandness of all of this story because it is about artists, it is about performers, and Calvero was the performer. And knowing that his life is that has turned, and you have this tragic and he dies getting to watch her dance, and that's powerful and moving in its own sense. Fun fact, this is the only competitive Oscar Charlie Chaplin won
yeah, I
for
saw that and
original score.
was shocked that like for look, I like the music in this a lot, but it's kind of bullshit that this is the only competitive Oscar that he won.
Mhm.
Not for writing, not for performing, not for producing, the fucking score. Which again,
Which he makes great scores.
I want to reiterate, it's good, but I don't know. I there are certain people out there where it's like, huh, like Quentin Tarantino, it's like, I don't want your only competitive Oscar to be in the fucking editing. Like, just no, no. There's other stuff that you do just as well. But this is one that it shocked me that that was the case because he also didn't he get like an honorary Oscar as well at some point for
Mhm.
contribution to, like a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes.
So there's at least that. But yeah, that was crazy to me.
But just you could even just watch this for the novelty of seeing all of the performances within the film because they're fantastic. They are like Chaplin at his peak.
Hmm.
doing what he does and just delivering something so energetic and charming and full with personality. Him
Hmm.
and Keaton were fantastic. And, this probably could have been tighter,
Probably.
for sure. Definitely could have been tighter. But and the story goes how you'd probably expect it to.
Yeah.
It has tragedy written all over it. But it was incredibly well put together film, competently put together, so well acted. And the music, the production, all of it brings this grand scale, and it's such an engrossing and engaging and moving experience for sure.
Yeah. And I don't know, just it's shocking to me, even though it's not surprising that this didn't do well during the 50s at the height of, McCarthyism and everything like that. Um, it, it again, just hey, if your view is different from what we view as good, my good is automatically your bad. It's like,
Mhm.
what are we doing, you guys? Honestly,
But if you've seen a lot of Chaplin's prime, the films from his prime, please check this out.
yeah.
This is a beautiful swan song to a career of an amazing performer. And he
Hmm.
does it all so well with this film. And like I said, it's right there on Max. And I will be getting it on Criterion because they have a nice Criterion of it.
Apparently, one of the scenes that they put in the Criterion Blu-ray is an armless person playing the violin, which is something that they talked about. How um, how do you dance without legs? It's like you just do it because it is just who you are. Um, you find some of the things that he says just like oddly inspiring, and then like so many people out there, don't even follow your own advice, you know?
Why should you?
Yeah. That's
There
for
you
other
go.
people, not for me. I got all
Uh,
my shit together.
sure you do, Calvero. Sure you
Uh-huh.
do.
Yeah, pretty
But
much.
Mike, thank you so much as always for coming on and chatting movies with me.
Of course. Thanks for, I guess, the randomizer for picking this one. So
There we go.
I'll take that, and looking forward to more coming up soon.
And this show brought to you by Random Number Generator app on my phone. So there you go. We will take money for
Yes,
advertising. So,
absolutely.
Apple, if you want to send some my way for the random app that I use to pick the films from this, I would gladly give you a shout out every time I do it.
Mhm.
But thank all of you for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What's your go-to Chaplin film? Have you seen some of his later entries into his filmography? Make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. The SPDM Crew podcasting network is ever expanding. And if you want in on the ground floor, you want a part of this, come check out our website and let us know. And if you want to start a new podcast or join one of ours as a guest, this one is one that we do bring guests on, and it's always interesting getting to meet a new person and bond over the experience of watching and talking about a film. And if you like our logo, check out HiFlyer Creative for all your digital marketing needs. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Wasteland Watchlist on the SPM Crew podcasting network.